Oops. Hey, all right. Well, okay. Um, Looks like my camera is not on at the moment. Let me work on that for a second. Hope everybody's doing well. Let's see. Is that better? Nope. Okay, hold on. Boy, technical difficulties. You just never know. Oh, I think I know what it is. Let's hope we can get that on. How's everybody doing? Huh, okay. Well, that's interesting. Hey, there it is. Oh, okay. That's... Welcome to OBS. Apparently that works in one spot and not in another. I don't know. Who knows? All right. So maybe this will just be a zero talking heads show, which is fine by me. That's cool. That's fine. I can just jump back to that whenever we need to. Okay, so what we're gonna do today is all right. Ashutash, nice to meet you. And yeah, state management. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to look at Jotai, which is essentially like a recoil. So if you've heard of recoil, that was from Facebook. So this is like I guess a lighter weight version of recoil. So let's have a look. Hi, Ilya. Nice to see you. Okay, so nothing on my sleeves. We're going to do an MPX Create React app. And I don't know, we'll call this Pokemon with Jotai. Oh, thank you. Are you in? Have you tried Jotai? Is that a thing? Again, sorry about the video today. I don't know what's going on. It's super weird. Nope, that's not working either. Oh well. Oh, OBS, you are a tricky beast. Because it looks great, actually. Yeah. Oh well. Okay. Hi, Lionel. So Rukar, is it Rukar your first name, or how do I reference that? I always like to know who's in the channel and be able to. Any chance I'll use TypeScript? Let's use TypeScript. You know, if it doesn't work, then we can always not use TypeScript. But let's do that. I like that idea, Ilya. Let's give that a go. So what did we create here? We created Pokemon with Jotai. So let's go get that with Jotai. And we'll bring up VS Code. All right. I hope that everybody can see that. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing a JS Rui. Oh, I like that. That's beautiful. That's a great name. I'm gonna be doing a course on TypeScript coming up pretty soon here. So that's great. That's a good thing. So let's go change this to TSX. Turn that into TypeScript mode. Wow, that's a bit big, even by my standards. There you go. Okay, so this is going to complain pretty much right away that I don't have TypeScript. So let's go and add that. And then add the types for React and React DOM. Hey, Alex! Good to see you, sir. All right, Alex, my setup's being a little finicky today. I don't have video, but whatever. It's fine. Okay, so let's see. So I've got my TSX. Let's run this. Yarn start. And we're learning Jotai today. So that, hold on, okay. Starting the development server. Okay. And, oh, it went over onto another. There we go. Awesome. Very cool. Okay, so we got our React app running. We've all seen that a bazillion times before. So let's get rid of all of that stuff in there. We don't need any of that. Yeah, I'm very excited about the TypeScript course. And there's also some more introduction to React coming. It's fun. It's all good stuff. So width is 800, margin is auto. This is just bringing the page in, giving it a little padding, that kind of thing. Padding 0 or 1 rem. There we go. Okay. Hi there, folks. Let's see. Okay. Beautiful. So next thing we want to do is create an input field. So that's going to have our Pokemon filter. Thank you. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. I actually did a bit of a dry run with it with some folks on the Discord server, and I think it's going to be good. I think it's an interesting and novel approach to teaching TypeScript, so I'm really excited about it. Okay, so we have a value, and that value is going to be filter. What is considered the best way to use CSS and React? Woo! Wow. I think it depends on who you ask, but certainly most of the project I've been seeing lately have been using like a CSS and React variant, like Emotion is very popular. So if somebody were to say, hey, we're using Emotion, I wouldn't be surprised. Another thing is that some frameworks like Material come with CSS systems baked into it. So I would use whatever their CSS system is because that would also apply to theming and be consistent. Okay, so our next thing is to bring in Jotai. So let's do that. And so we're going to yarn add Jotai. And then we're gonna, let's see, go back over here. So we're not quite ready for prime time yet with this. So we're gonna import Atom. And then we're gonna say that we need a provider as well. So we need to wrap this thing in a provider. So the next thing to do would be down here to wrap it in a provider. It's like some things need a provider, like Redux and MobX, and some things like Zustand do not. It's interesting how that plays out. Okay, so we need thanks, Jack, for doing these videos. Really appreciate. Okay, excellent. Great, good to see you. Sorry I can't stick around, but that's okay. So we're gonna have an Atom, and is that the right syntax for Atom here? So yeah, so Atom, you just give it a base default value like that. And then there's probably one more thing, which is to use an Atom. So let's go and grab that. Good idea, Alex. Everybody should join the Discord server because, yeah, there you can just, chat super informally. Okay, so now we're going to use Atom, and it's basically exactly like use state. You're going to get back the current value. So in this case, we'll call it filter. And that's why I use filter Atom and not filter. And then a filter set. So this is just me, but like I use filter set as opposed to set filter because then I can just capitalize the S. And that way, if I want to change filter, I can just literally go and change it to, Dubelaki or whatever I want to change it to, right? And then it changes consistently everywhere, as opposed to if you do like set filter, then you got to capitalize the set or the noun. Okay, so the last thing we need to do is say we need an on-change handler. So we're going to take an event there, filter set, EVT target value, like that. And I think at this point we've got like reasonable code, right? So yeah, it looks like we're importing everything. We're setting up an Atom. We've got our use. We got input, value, change. All right, let's start this up, see how we go. I apologize if you guys can hear dogs barking in the background. They appear to be very excited about something. There you go. Okay, cool. So looks like that's working, but let's go and check by basically dropping filter in here as that. So if we want like bulb for Bulbasaur, Hey, looking good. So I mean, come on, that is really easy state management. You gotta give it to that. So next thing we need in our example is we need a Pokemon. And we're going to start off with an empty array. And the same sort of thing down here with Pokemon and Pokemon atom, our filter atom. Whoops, hey now. And then again, we'll just change that out to Pokemon. Because I'm a huge fan of extend selection, which is Command D in VS Code. So like anything I can do to make extend selection work better, like changing variable names like that, that's fine by me. So I'm going to map over the Pokemon. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to JSON stringify at the moment, because first we want to go get the Pokemon, right? So at the moment, this is just going to give me an empty array. Like, oh, that's not particularly pretty, right? We're going to make a table later on. So we need to go get this. So let's go find that. So we need a gist. Oh, there we go. Pokemon list. Very nice. Okay. And let's go get the raw of that. So that's basically just going to be a big old JSON blob. And it's got an ID, a name, an English, type, and some attack metrics, if you like. So let's go get that. So the thing I'm going to do is React.use effect. And say that this should only run once by having an empty array in there. Then we'll go fetch that. Wow, that's a nice fetch. That's a nice boulder. We'll get back a response, and we want to convert that into a JSON. Well, we want to get the JSON out of it, and that's going to give us basically just back an object as what in a promise. So then we're going to call set Pokemon set, and the first argument. This is basically the equivalent of doing, data. Oops, data like that, data like that. It's just a little cleaner, a little niftier. All right, let's go back over to React app, and voila! We have our Pokemon. Will be a good. Actually, you know what? Can I do? Interesting. How would I type that? Okay, so if let's just go ahead with the example, and then we'll add on the TypeScript and stuff and try it out. How about that? Okay, so we've got our list of Pokemon. So we're going to iterate through those, and they're going to have an ID and a name with English, and then also a type. And then we'll do table top. Yeah, we'll definitely. Yeah, we're gonna create probably end up creating an interface for the Pokemon, and then maybe using a generic around the atom. So we'll see. I haven't tried it, so this is exciting. I always love to do stuff that I've never done before on Fridays, because then it's all that much more nerve-wracking to live stream. So we're gonna drop in the English name, and then join the types together. Okay, and the last thing I would need in here would be a T body. All right, cool. Type.join. Well, that's interesting. Okay, so there we go. Join does not exist on type never. Interesting. Okay, yes. So if I type this, I think I need to type this at this point. So this is of type Pokemon. You can only get away for so long, right? Okay, so let's see. Interface Pokemon is an ID of number, a name with English as a string, and then a type. Is it types or type? I think it's type. Yeah, it's type. Is an array of strings. Okay, let's take a look. Hey, it's happy now. Awesome. Okay, great. So, all right, Ilya, we have our first interface, and that's going to be real good. So can we do this? That's an interesting, Adam, can we do that? Does that work? So if I do that, then can I get rid of this? Ilya, that's cool, man. Look at that. Wow. That's really neat. So what we're saying here is that Adam, we're using a generic on Adam, and we're passing in our type, and then giving it a default value with that type, which is real nice. That's really sweet. That's really clean. Okay, so now we need to filter that. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this a little bit. I'm going to go and make this, extract this so that I can show you that right now, because right now we could just use useState, right? There's no point to what we're doing. So yeah, right? It was cool. I mean, I'm yeah. I don't want to take any credit for that, but that was pretty neat. So we're going to call this Pokemon table. And I did actually just cut it there, so I'm not crazy. So let's go over here to Pokemon table. And I think I got a question in the comments about like how to share this amongst files. So we'll do that in a bit. So let's see, we're going to grab out Pokemon. Well, we need to actually have it in both places, because I need it to read here, but I don't need it to write. That's the power of TypeScript. Exactly. Ugh, I could do like a bad... Okay, so there you go. Excellent. Okay, so now we need to filter it. So let's go back over here to filter and grab out the filter. All right. So this is going to be neat. Ready? So Pokemon. And then we can say Pokemon, and then we get name it. And then we get this right here. That's the power of TypeScript again, right? Because it knows that this is of type Pokemon. So it's going to hint me all the way along the line. So name.english, .to lowercase, .includes, and then filter, .to lowercase. And we could hint that real nicely too. All we need to do that is just say that this is a string, right? Okay, cool. Let's try this out. Let's see. Bulbasaur! There you go! Okay, by the way, so, all right. I don't know how far we want to go with this, but I will say, so I don't know if you guys have heard about Blazor or Razor. It's a new thing from Microsoft. And I've been actually doing a little collaboration with another channel, and that guy's all about Microsoft. And I was like, well, what do you think about Blazor or Razor? And he's like, I haven't tried it yet. So I'm like, oh, okay, I can try it. But I've got a Macintosh, so how's that going to work? It turns out Visual Studio Code, or Visual Studio 2019 is on both. And I was able to do like a Blazor app, and it's pretty cool. It actually compiles to WASM, which is interesting. So anyway, I'm interested. I'm thinking about doing a video on that. So if you're interested, let me know. I know it's like it's a thing, Microsoft and all that, but it's kind of cool. It's just interesting to see. I did a little bit of WASM stuff before, and yeah. Okay, so we're doing TypeScript. We're doing all this. Yeah. So there's a little bit more that we can do. We can be more clever about this. Because we're doing the filter in here, which is kind of like mixing your apples and your oranges. This is like doing a little bit of model work here, kind of thing. So what can we go and make a new atom called Pokemon filtered atom? I believe we can do this. So let's go back to our documentation over here in Jotai. We can get rid of recoil for the moment. And what you can do is you can do this get thing, right? So we can grab get, and then we can say basically take out this filter here, all of this, copy it, paste it in there. So how do we get that value? Well, we say get Pokemon Atom. And then over here, we do get filter atom. And I don't know whether you should cache this or not, like how efficient this get is. You might want to cache it. It's fine, whatever. This is more conceptual at this point. Okay, so that's too many. Okay, so it looks like TypeScript is happy. So what we can do now is we can just take this and do that. So now we only get Pokemon from the Pokemon filtered atom. And we can remove this, right? And then go back to our app. And we can do Bulbasaur again. And it looks great. So what's happening here is that when filter atom changes, or Pokemon atom changes, because this guy has done a get on those, then Pokemon filtered atom automatically updates, which is pretty sweet, I gotta say. That's a nice workflow there. And I think one of the last things we can try out with this, yeah, this is really cool too. So check out that. So we can replace the initializer for Pokemon Atom with an asynchronous getter. So async get, is that right? That should be async. Do we use get in there? Oh no, okay. We just need an async call, which in turn does this fetch. So let's get rid of this guy. And then we don't need that guy because that's the actual value that we're returning. So we're, instead of saying we're not going to initialize, we're going to initialize Pokemon asynchronously is what we're saying here. And we're going to initialize it with that fetch. So now we can get rid of all of that. And then we have an error, I believe. We do. So it automatically figured out that we've got some async stuff going on. So what we need to do in addition to this is create a React suspense boundary in there with a fallback. I'm loading up for the weekend. You guys wouldn't believe what an exciting weekend I have planned. Cleaning the garage, fixing the sidewalk in front of my house where a tree fell over. It's so much fun. You're not going to believe it. Okay, so you saw really quickly over there, I'm loading up for the weekend. And then, boom, there you go. Really, really, really clean. And with Ilya's TypeScript recommendation, very, very, very clean. So like the last thing we would want to do probably is refactor out this input. So let's go make that. And we'll call that Pokemon filter. Like that. Return out code. And then fix this guy, bring him up here. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, you're right. Well, I didn't actually change out the actual input, so let's go do that. Okay. Wow, that's getting to be some clean code right there. Nice. Okay, cool. And you know what? Just so I can appease the commenter that asked if I could go and you can go and take this make a store out of it. What we're gonna do is grab these guys, and I guess with the interface, and bring that over here. Call it store.ts, right? It's very cool. Thank you, Ilya. That's a wonderful idea to try out some TypeScript here. I really appreciate that. You made for a much better video today. Thank you. This is much more valuable. Okay, so we're gonna go and export to these guys. I think the typing's gonna come along, right, Ilya? So So I don't need to like export Pokemon because it's just going to pick that up. So if I go back over here and then I get rid of Atom and I get rid of all this, it leaves it on advantage over use state. So use state is just going to be local, and in order to get, let me just finish up with this, and then that's a great question. So let's let me do that. So I'm going to go over here from store, and then hint my way in here. So let's see, it's filter atom, and I think I just need Pokemon filtered atom. That's all I need. That is awesome. And actually, so Pokemon Atom is actually hidden at this point. Not really hidden. It is exported, but I don't use it, so I don't need it. That's amazing. Okay. So yeah, Ilya, great question. So the value here is if I defined use state up in here, then I'd have to drill all of that stuff through properties down into here, right? Sorry, I guess over context API. So, on the Discord channel, we had a guy who put up his example code that showed 4 different state managers. It was use context as a baseline. And then let me do my little presenter shtick. So it was use context. It was recoil, redux, and mobx, and comparing the efficiency of all of those solutions. And the result was that mobx kicked all of their butts. But so here's the benefit. So use context. If I create a provider at this level, which is what I'd have to do, provider up here with a value, then anytime though that provider changed, everything in that, oops, sorry, let me go back to main scene, but everything in that below that provider level, which would be in the app, would need to re-render, right? Where supposedly only the stuff that changes is gonna re-render. So if we were to go and add in some like H1s here, so like stuff that shouldn't re-render, and we'll make a bunch of those and a bunch of these, and so it should be pretty clear that large sections of the page should not be re-rendering. And then we go over here to, where is it? Components, and then components, and where is it? Debugging. Come on, where are you? Oh, highlight updates when a component re-renders. Okay, so bulb. There we go. Is that? It does look like the whole frame is re-rendering. Not quite sure if that's the case, but I know I'm not seeing any movement around the H1s. I'm just not sure if, because there is that like outer boundary. So that's basically the point. The point is that you're only going to re-render the components that actually need the data that you're subscribed to in this case. Whereas with use context, you're going to re-render everything from that provider down anytime the value changes. So that's that. That's the advantage. All right. Any questions about the code? Pretty clean, right? I'll upload this to GitHub, and you can have a look for yourself. Thank you again, Ilya, for the fantastic recommendation of using TypeScript for this. I think it's super clean. By the way, if you want to, here's an interesting question for you. If I was to go and say, create our own library, so how would we type Atom? So let's just go and say that we want a new, we want a type for my Atom. And we want to understand, we want to take that type, right? And then we got a default value, which is of that type. Yeah? No, is it? Why isn't that working? Oh, default value. That's a reserved word, right? And then it's going to return us a tuple. So we use an array for that. And then the first one is going to be the current value. So you can name elements in the array. Can you go through it fast? I just joined. Sure, Ahmed. Give me 1 second to finish this up. The current value, and then it's going to get a setter function. And that function is going to be given a new value, which is of type t. And I think it just doesn't do anything. So that's how internally this thing is typed. And that way, whenever you say Atom and then you give it a type, it basically just takes whatever that t value is for the type that you gave it and just replaces it like a template. You know, boom, 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 boom. So it takes, this guy becomes of that type, that guy becomes of that type, that guy becomes, this guy becomes of that type, and so on. So TypeScript generics are wickedly powerful. Okay, so Ahmed, let's walk back through this. So I'm using a new state manager called Jotai. It's a kind of competitor conceptually with Recoil, which came out from Facebook a couple, 3 months ago. I'm not sure. With COVID time, it's hard to tell. But these are a little bit more complicated now than when we started. But I can show you. So you start modeling the world as atoms. In this case, you've got a filter atom, which is a string. So here's the app that we're building, by the way. It's very simple. We go and have a list of Pokemon, and you can filter it. And that basically shows you, and this list is fetched asynchronously from a gist on GitHub. So we got that input field is mapped, is managed using filter atom. Pokemon atom is an atom that's automatically fetched for us. You give it an asynchronous thing, so you can set the value of an atom asynchronously. And then this Pokemon filter atom is really cool. It actually depends on these two atoms, filter and Pokemon filter. And so when these guys change, this one automatically gets updated thanks to Jotai. And it does the filtering, basically takes this big Pokemon list and then filters it down to what we actually want to show. And then thanks to Ilya, we decided we were going to use TypeScript and type all this. And so this is our type definition of Pokemon, which is really all we need. There's a lot more to it than that, but that's all we need. So then our app has this, a little bit of styling up top. And then we got that filter and the table. The filter just uses something, this is exactly like useState, except that it's useAtom, right? And that gives you back a filter and a filter set. Very traditional React in there. And then we get our list of filtered Pokemon. That gives us back just the value. That's all we need. And then we get a table, and we just iterate through it. And one of the really great things here is because we use TypeScript, like let's just say I added on something new, like, I don't know, power. There's a number, right? And I save that. Now, if I go over here, it'll hint to me that, oh wow, because I know that Pokemon filtered atom is an array of Pokemon as defined by this, then here are all my potential values in there. And oops, come on you, there you go. And so now because I added power to Pokemon, it now shows up in my list of potential values here, which makes it really nice. So also, if I were to do that, and let's make sure that my viewport is open, and I were to go later on, change this to superpower, right? We would see now over in app.tsx, oops, I messed up. Now it needs to be superpower, right? And that's one of the big values of TypeScript in this context is when you're working on large projects, that the typing means that when you make a change in one place, you make sure that you pick up all those changes in every other place. And so, for example, if you're talking to a service and that service has yet to be completely fleshed out, like maybe they're making some changes, maybe they go into version 2, right? If you were to use TypeScript to type what you expect from that service and then make a change, then you would see all through your code where you depend on the original value or the original key or field, and then be able to change it. So really cool, really good on large projects. Is this similar to the React N library? Can you drop a link and we'll take a look? It's so, like, how many new state managers have come out because basically, you know, Redux, nobody likes Redux anymore. And MobX, I love MobX personally, but for whatever reason, it didn't become the industry standard. And then we got useState, and everybody decided, ooh, it's cool to put components back. Cool to put state back in components again. Except that we still need some way to be able to share state through different parts of the tree. And yeah. All right. So hey, I am going to post in, by the way, our Discord server sign up. So let me go over to YouTube for a second. And pop on this link. Oops, that's my subscribe link. Oops, where is it? Hey, you. All right, I need my... Oh, there we go. If you go down here, there's a Discord server sign up. Like so. So we are going to join up on Discord when we finish up here. And hopefully my video will be back to working at that point for you. Well, I think it's just an OBS bug at this point. But yeah. And then you can have a chat with me. It's not going to be recorded. It's just going to be us talking. And you could ask me any questions you want, or we can just talk and yeah. All right. Do you have any more questions about today's Jotai example? It's really cool stuff. Are you excited about it? Would you think about using it? Have you thought about using recoil? Let me know. And again, yeah, huge props to Ilya for the idea of using TypeScript. Very good idea. Very, very good idea. Nothing? All right, well, so I think I'm going to wrap this early. This was super fun. I know it's super fast, but I hope this gets you excited about it. You can watch the replay. And it's funny, I type, when I know it, I type really fast. So, all right. Yeah, it looks better than Redux. I'll buy that. Absolutely. So, all right. I will see you over on Discord. We'll just join up in the video chat. I'll see you there. All right, guys. Check you later.